today. I have moved to close my positions once again, thinking that I shorted the market. I got stopped out. So let me show you kind of my positions here. You can only see this, unfortunately, on YouTube and Periscope. But basically, I had shorted the SPY at 268.94. I set a stop loss at 274. And guess what? Well, I got stopped out. So I am in a losing position today. Earlier on, I closed out my position at the end of yesterday. I just scraped, making almost nothing, only about $170 yesterday. Today I have lost money, so I can't figure out the direction. Looks as like it's going higher. Go figure. Go figure. I am still trying to figure out exactly where we're going. Where the market direction is, and so it's an interesting. It's interesting. We've seen kind of a reversal yesterday. At the end of the day, we moved lower, and this morning we've moved significantly higher. So I don't know. I think that I think we may be getting to a key level on the spider, and from there, probably lower. So there you go. By the way, hey, let's see. Sweet Buggy. Good morning. Good morning to you. Do you recommend trading with $200 trading? Well, I've essentially been day trading. So there you go. I mean, hey, what can you do? Head is being created. Thank you for that information. Very interesting. Are market shorts traders causing swings? No, it's not the shorts that are so much. It's the intervention by the big banks that are causing I think the volatility. Though that's a good question, because typically when you have when you have these reflex rallies, typically that's shorts covering, as I was this morning. So I'm part of the problem, maybe, but I don't think that was the main reason. I just think it's a very volatile market. Nobody can figure out what the direction is. At least I can't. And that's been the case. Would you go back? Yeah, well, I tried to this morning. I tried to short. Again, I tried to short. I was stopped out. I shorted at 268.94, thinking that the direction was right. This is about 30 minutes after the open, thinking that it was going to reverse. Didn't. Kept going up, and I was stopped out at 274. So I am totally out of the market right now. I am trying to find direction, and I certainly haven't found it. So hopefully by the end of the day, depending on how it trades, I may be short again. I may be short again tomorrow, or I may be into the ETFs. The ETF I'm using to go long typically is the TQQQ. I am shorting the spider directly to go short. So that's my strategy so far. And well, it's sort of been working, but not so much today. So there you go. Are you an automated market computer? Yeah, a lot of the swings are they're bouncing off of key levels. That's a very astute thing that you're saying there, man. Because basically what happens is that you get it gets to certain levels, and then once it gets to the level, then you're seeing it move. You're seeing that price action. So about 90%, well, 70 to 80%, depending of the market is algorithmic trading. So levels are very, very important. That's one of the reasons why the market swings so much quicker now than it did just even 5 years ago, because so many of the orders are placed algorithmically. I even place some of my orders that way using stop losses and limit orders. I typically am trying to cut back on my use of market orders like I used to do 2 and 3 years ago. I set it in there, and if it reaches a key level, it either buys or sells. So that's how I'm doing it as well. So so I can compete with the algorithm. If you do set limit orders, typically you're in the queue and just like with everybody else. So one of the reasons why there's terrific swings. Even though the market is trading up, I still believe that we're going to retest the lows. This may be this may be a false opinion on my part, but I just don't see how, with the amount of unemployment that's coming, with the amount of destruction in certain sectors, that we can see anything but that. But I've definitely, my timing has not been this week. It's been challenged. I have to admit, I have not made money this week trading. And last week I did very well. So, I just cannot seem to get a direction at this point. Any thoughts on put call ratios? Good question. Let me quickly take a look here to see what the put call ratio is right now. I believe that it is above where we want to be, but I don't want to say that out of turn because I don't know exactly what it is. I have not looked at that chart yet. I've been trying to figure out direction more than that today. So let me pull that up here. Yeah, I just think it's got to retest, but then again, when is it going to retest? That's the question. When is it going to retest? And I don't have a good answer for you today. I just don't. Let me see if I can get put call ratio up here. And let's see if we get something there. Okay, hold on. Yeah, see, look at that. Alpha estimates cuts as retail stores remain closed. I just don't see how it could be trading like this. But yeah, I just can't see it. I'm getting just such weird stuff. I'm getting just such weird stuff. Right now, the sector that's trading the best is the oil sector, which I am not in. The sector leaders, though, are stuff like Lululemon, which is retail, and I don't understand that. I just really don't understand that. But again, hey, what do you know? It's just the strangest thing. I can't figure it out. Okay, so coming when profit numbers, yeah. I think you're right. I think we're going to have employment numbers, and I think they're meant to be so good. Checking on what's your YouTube channel? My YouTube channel. Okay, it's easier to get me on Periscope than it is YouTube. My Periscope channel. I know that I shouldn't say it like this, but it's just easier. It works better. My Periscope channel is PC. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Periscope. It's periscope.com/Dallas Trading Floor, all one word. Unfortunately, I don't have a public URL for my YouTube channel yet. I'm getting that. It's not there yet. But for YouTube, I have got. Let's see. Let me see. On YouTube, on Periscope. Yeah. It's www.periscope.tv/Dallas Trading Floor, all one word, and that is for Periscope. For YouTube, what you have to do is you go to YouTube and then just put Dallas Trading Floor, 3 words in there, and it'll find the channel. I'm still trying to get a public URL for that, unfortunately, so it's not the greatest. I should have that hopefully this week or next. I should have that for you. So sorry about that, but That's the way it is. And that's where I'm showing all my charts and everything. Okay, what's your thoughts on JNUG? JNUG, let me just take a quick look at JNUG. Let me look how it's trading right now. Okay. JNUG. Interesting. Okay, this is the gold miners. Okay. That's interesting. You bring up gold miners. It's trading up today. Wow, that's good. It's trading up. I'm looking at the chart right now. It's trading up. It's trading at 513. This is the junior. Yeah. This is the junior gold miners ETF. And that is an interesting way to play the coming. And I think that this is coming. It's not here yet because we're in a deflationary portion of the cycle here. But I believe that we are coming to a situation where gold actually may be once again a good investment, because all these dollars have to go somewhere. I think once they flood into the market, we're inevitably going to see asset inflation, which is going to be, but I don't believe that's going to come until late summer at the very earliest. I think before then, everybody's going to be starved for dollars. That's why they're putting all these dollars in the market, and then we're going to reverse on that. So right now, I don't know if it's the time to be in a gold fund. I think it's definitely worth watch listing at this point, because I do think that we will have a lot of inflation once this stuff hits the market. But you never know. I mean, currently we're in a deflationary economy, which is a very strange thing, because what's happened is that there's been the reason that they're pushing all of this this money into is because they're trying to support the stock market. They don't want the stock market to collapse. If it does, the asset values for all the retirees will be in trouble. This is also always what happens when you have deflation in the economy, like we have now, with all these job losses and the price of oil being so low. A lot of the demand on the market has been taken away, and unfortunately, that makes the economy basically deflate. Asset values will go down. They're trying to support that. That's the reason why you have so much money being pumped into the system. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for agreeing. The interesting thing about what's happening is that right now we're in a deflationary period. That when this turns, deflation will move very quickly to kind of maybe not hyperinflation, because not like Argentina style, South American style, but it will definitely be inflated. And so we've got to be ready for that. But right now, it's just not a good time to be in inflation assets right now. It just isn't, because we are in a deflationary period. But that will change too. That will change. So currently we're in a deflationary period, and when the money hits the market, and it will, because they're sending checks to everybody. Initially, that won't change anything, because there's such lack of demand that that's just going to go into the market. So right now, cash is actually increasing in value, but that could very quickly change when the market comes back online, when the economy comes back online. Not the market; the market's online, but the economy isn't. So it's a very strange situation. How do you think the OPEC meeting will play out? I think OPEC is going to have to make cuts, and I think that's the reason why things in the oil sector are changing. Let me just take a quick look at how ExxonMobil is trading today. I happen to like ExxonMobil. Yeah, it's up today very nicely. This might be, for lack of anything better, it's still low volume, 42.54. This might not be a bad one to come into right now. I'm going to watch this one. Watch this. Now, here's the problem with the oils. It's a tale of two cities. Some of the oils are really good. Most of them, not so much. I mean, there's a lot of oil companies in this country. I think there's something like several hundred. I don't know, with E&Ps and everything like that. But there are only some really good integrated ones that have a strong balance sheet. That's your usual suspects: BP, ExxonMobil, Chevron, those kind of companies. But the other ones, I don't think you can do that. Okay, let's see, estimated numbers and dates. I'm I am still bearish. I am not a bull yet. I am not convinced. I'm not convinced on being a bull right now. But hey, I have been I have been wrong, and I've been wrong in my timing. So definitely this week. Now, last week I was doing great, but not so much this week. So I can't really find direction as well as some can. Now, here's the thing: I've on Periscope on Periscope, I just put up the IBD long-term leaders. Interestingly enough, the long-term leader, according to the IBD, pretty much number one position with a 99 score is Adobe, which I think is true. I mean, I think that's really good. It's an expensive stock. I'm not sure that there's a bargain on it. I think you better, if you're looking for bargains, I think the oil patch is the place to be right now. But again, I'm not in the market. I'm watch listing everything. I'm just looking for direction at this point, and my direction has not been, it looks as if, and I want to look at the spider here to see how it's trading, to look at the general direction for the market. But let's see. Yeah, the spider's up significantly today. I mean, I shorted it at I shorted it at below 270 at 268. It immediately reversed on me, and I was stopped out. So there you go. The long-term list, though, is something that you might want to look at. Copart's on there. But again, I don't see it as an investment. I do believe we're going to take another leg down, but the question is, when is that going to be? I have been, looking at the chart. It tells me that it should be when we hit about 275 on the spider. But again, I have not been totally right in the direction so far this week, anyways. So I don't know what the situation is going to be. Fortunately, it looks like the pandemic is being less of a problem than it was in terms of their projections. So, we're looking at possibly getting I'm hoping we're possibly getting the market back online quicker than we were before. Again, it's just really, really hard to say. Can I get a shortcut? Okay. Yeah, let me see if I can do that. Let me see. Let's see if I can push one on to you. Hold on one second. I've got to take this out of the cradle. Sorry about this. This is going to be a little weird. But let me see if I can give you a oops, wait a minute. See if I can. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Okay, it's .com / trading. Oops. Floor. Okay. Hopefully I don't know if you can see that out there. Yeah, shortest bear market ever. Yeah. Well, it might be. I mean, you might be right. I mean, we may be, we may be back onto the bull. We may be back on the bull train. I don't know. It's real hard to say. It's just really, really hard to say. Did you get that? Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's the I don't know if you can log on to that or not. Okay, cool. We still, let's see. We still can't see. Okay, let's see. Are we still in a crisis? Yeah, I do think we're still in a crisis. I really believe we are. I mean, I think we still are. I think we're still in a crisis here, and it just hasn't, it hasn't gotten. Yeah, why are we up crazy up? Again, I think this is a snapback rally. I think that there are a lot of people coming into the market and buying to support the price. I'm out. I should say I got stopped out. I believe we're going to turn, but will that be this week? I definitely think we're going to turn. The question is it going to be this week? Is it going to be next week? What is it going to be? Because I just don't see how we can support these levels based on the fact that a third of the economy is shut down and people don't have enough cash. So again, I think though once the reality of the situation hits, I do believe it's going to reverse and it's going to go down and retest the lows. The market may go to 1800 once employment. Yeah, I think that's really true. By the way, Sweaty Doggy. I think it is. I think it is. I think we're going to see it reverse, and I don't wish it on anyone, because as one who in my earlier life was, it's one of the reasons I started trading was because I couldn't depend on my job. So I started trading and it worked for me, and so, it was between employment, I could always make money in the markets. And, but yeah, a lot of people are going to be, out of commission. I hate to say that, but they are. They're going to be out of commission, and you're going to see them. I think that we're going to see a lot of value destruction. So that's just the way it is. Yeah. So, by the way, did you possibly get the? I don't know if you got the comment of the link. I'm going to try to improve that link on that better. There's a link on my on my page that will take you right to the Periscope, so you can see what I'm talking about here. Okay. Do you think that the early hours trading volume is a gauge of momentum? Yes and no. I do think the futures have something to do with it. I knew the market was going to be up. I just didn't know how. I just didn't know how powerful it was going to be in terms of the rally, because the futures were slightly up. I thought it was going to reverse. I was wrong. It didn't reverse. It kept going up. Currently, it is trading. The spider is trading at 271, which I basically covered at 270. Let's see. What's your key momentum indicator? My key momentum indicators are how the futures are trading overnight, and that's available. Actually, I don't know if you probably don't have access to it, but CNBC Overnight Europe will give you that information. I usually look at that before I go to bed and when I get up in the morning to see how the futures traded, to get general direction. It really can't tell you volume, but it can tell you direction. And again, I've jumped the gun because I was long. The futures were long. I entered the TQQQ this morning. It went against me. I closed the position, probably unwisely. Let me see how the TQQQ is doing. That might be a good short-term play. Again, let's see. Let's look at the TQQ. Yeah, it's up. It's up slightly. The TQQ is up slightly, 53.71. I closed out my position though this morning. You know, if the market continues strong, then that might be a short day trade option for everybody. For anybody that doesn't know, there's two directional funds that you can use that are leveraged on the indexes that I like. One of them is the SQQQ. That's the bear fund. That's the one that I've been playing mostly. And then there is a bull fund, and the bull fund is the TQQQ. And that typically goes in sympathy with the market, and the SQQQ goes against the market. So if you don't have the capability to short in your account, you can use these for directional trades. And it's a good way that you can pick up some money on the direction. Let's see. Also shows future. Yeah, exactly. That's a good. I like that. So it's finviz.com. That's interesting. finviz.com. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for that point. I'm going to try to put that up. Let me just see if I can show that on my Periscope site, and that's finviz.com, and that's shows shows the future. Shows market direction. And there we go. All right, let's put that up on there as well. On the, I just put that up on the screen. THA right now. Early morning direction is is short term. Yeah, I think you're right. Well, no, the TQQQ and the SQQ, they're all short term instruments. You really shouldn't stay in more than a day or two at the maximum. It definitely is. I mean, if you want to play this up, that's a good way to possibly do it. And rather than trying to figure out an individual stock. Again, the only thing right now, the leaders in the market are the oil sector, which in the past month or two, up until this, were the laggards. So it's flipped on it's flipped around. I think that the reason that they're trading up, obviously, is because they think that the Saudis and the Russians are going to have a deal. I'm not so sure. A lot of these people are really digging in, and the devil's in the details. So we should see. I have 20K CD coming due. What should I do? Good question. Right now, I would. Right now, I wouldn't enter the market directly. If I were going to enter the market directly, what I would do is I would take that and I would divide it in half. I would I would basically keep 10,000 of it separate, and then I would start to just gradually move into the market when we've bottomed. We really haven't bottomed, even though there was a. We haven't bottomed. Now, interestingly enough, on Thursday of last week, there was what they call a follow-through day, which typically shows it's good to get back into the market. I do not trust that follow-through day. So I would, if I had a CD coming due, I would keep the money very close. I would divide it in half, keep 50% of it in cash, and then I would start just very gradually going into the market. Very, very slowly. I wouldn't start with a position that was larger than about $1,000 at this point. TTK went up solid, yeah, for about an hour or two. Yeah, that's so true. That's exactly what happened to me. That's why I closed my position. I closed it too early. Again, as I say, I can't figure direction today. I don't know. I'm jinxed. But the TQQQ, it's still green. It's still moving up. I think it's possibly, let me just look at the chart here. And this is so hard to tell. Okay, it's up at the top of the trading range. I think you might be able to ride that up to 56. Well, no, you're not going to be able to ride that up to 56. You're going to be able to ride that up to maybe 54. And it's trading at 53. 53. I don't think there's a whole lot of juice there. Um, I think you could maybe make on a short move. You're going to probably make it up to if you went in the TQQQ now, you could probably ride it to about 54, and then I would sell based on the chart that I'm looking at. Though it retreated yesterday, it traded way up to. It started the day yesterday at 56. At 56, and then it just slid all the way back down. So wow, this is just really hard to judge. It looks like it's dropping right now. It looks like the TQQ is dropping. When I see these drops in the middle morning like this, that means that we may be getting ready for a reversal. I may be shorting the SPY in the afternoon based on this. I think the rally is going to fade. That's what I'm thinking. The only play I can make is to find hourly direction. Yeah, absolutely, and 1% stop loss. That's the thing. It's a trading market right now, and everybody has to be a day trader in this kind of market because you just can't get confirmation on long-term, on short, mid-term direction for the swing trade. And that's normally what I do. I'm not typically a day trader because, I swing trade, and but that's not a good strategy. I think it's you almost have to go 1% hour by hour right now, at least as far as I can tell. Okay. No, right now. Okay. Volume in March was average, 702. Please explain why. Okay. Are we? Yeah. Well, usually if it's average or lower than average volume, that means that there isn't conviction. Some of these rallies. I mean, we've had fairly good volume. Let me look at the spider to see what the volume is to the upside. Again, I just want to look at the volume really carefully here. Okay. God, this is weird. This is so weird. Yeah. The volume is light. Okay, the volume is light on the spider. So what I'm thinking is that, again, this is one of these weird rallies where there's not really a lot of conviction. It is moving higher, but I don't think there's a lot of conviction here. I don't think there's a lot of conviction here. I don't think we're moving convincingly higher. I think we're going to reverse, but see up, low, up exactly. Well, that's right. When you have low volume, that means less conviction. So if you have less conviction, that means potential for reversal. I still don't think I'm wrong necessarily in that the market is ultimately going to reverse and move lower, but I'm just not directionally right at this at this time. I was not directionally right this morning. So it's just weird. Why is normal okay, what is normal? Well, actually, the way you judge what is normal or large volume is that you look at the chart, and the chart will have a bar graph at the lower part, and you're looking at you're looking at the peaks. The last time the spider had a really convincing volume was back on March 14th. March 14th, there was a very powerful move to the downside with large volume. That typically is a very key indicator that we're going to go lower, and indeed it did. It went all the way down to hit its low, which was on March 23rd. Now, since then, in the last week or so, in the last 2 weeks, it's been moving higher. It's been moving higher. Now, why do I think that there may be a reversal? The reason I think it may be a reversal is because when you get these large sell-offs, typically the market will return to the low to test what the limit of selling is. And that's the case I think is here. Now, currently we're in an upward phase, but on light volume. That means that the market is trading higher, but there's not that much conviction. So I want to see if I knew this would be this is a trend if it was higher on heavier volume. That's not the case. It's higher on lighter volume. So, but who knows how long it will continue to trade higher. Excuse me. I don't think that the conviction is to the upside right now. I think there's some buying, but I don't think that the conviction is there. By noon, I have to make an active decision to continue to trade. Oh, okay. Well, right now, you know what? Because you can't tell the direction on this market, and you've got a gain, close your position. Take your gain, wait. That would be my advice. How can I interpret the futures? What indexes? Well, typically they're going to. Typically, you want to look at the futures on the Dow and on there's three futures that you want to look at. I typically am centric to the S&P 500 futures. Those are the ones I really like to watch because that's a very broad market index, but its market index is weighted to the bigger cap stocks, basically the Fortune 500. The QQQs tend to be, it's much more of a technology centric. It's a smaller index. It typically doesn't move exactly in sympathy with the S&P 500. And then if you want to look at the bedrock economy, that would be the Dow futures. And the Dow futures typically there's only 30 stocks in the Dow. And so I don't think it's as good a measure. So I like to look at the S&P 500. And then if I'm trading technology stocks, normally when I'm trading technology stocks, I'm looking at the Qs, but right now I'm just looking for direction. I'm not trading individual stocks at this point, just due to the fact that it's a very tough market to find any stocks that I consider to be value, to have the potential to move higher in this kind of market, just because of the situation with the economy right now. I do have up on my Periscope, it's www.periscope, periscope.tv/Dallas Trading Floor. I do have a list of the IBD long-term leaders. Those are watch list stocks. I wouldn't necessarily recommend them to buy right now. I think that we're going to go lower. They may be where you want to build your watch list. Let's see. Okay, best option stocks to trade from month. Wow. I really think that right now in this environment, picking individual stocks is really hard. If you notice, everybody was touting Zoom the other day, it's a good company. I mean, it really is, but it collapsed. I mean, because people found that it was a small cap stock. I just don't think that there's any, the only real stock that everyone is really trading right now heavily is Microsoft. The problem with Microsoft, I don't like Microsoft at these levels. I think it's a little bit too expensive. It's a great stock, don't get me wrong, but I think everybody's jumping into it. I just think it's a little bit high right now based on the market. What's your take on OPEC meeting tomorrow? Wow. This is going to be a big deal. A lot of people are going to, this is why I think that the oils are trading up. This might be a good short-term trade. This is really a binary trade, like on a Chevron or Exxon or a stock like that. Depending on what happens tomorrow with that, if there's a successful meeting and they move to cut they move to cut production, I believe that I think that that's the reason that they've been trading that way, with it going higher like that. So that might be a possible trade. Again, I would put my stop losses on very tight because it could reverse on you seriously very, very quickly. Do you think that we will move to cut production? Yes, I do. So the Saudis are very agitated because for like 40 years, they've had essentially the market to themselves. They've been the biggest producer. they've gotten everything they wanted, and nobody else really, nobody else really got what they wanted regarding the situation with the oil. Now they're having to give up their share, and they're really in a bad way because they have a very large welfare state, and there's a lot of social unrest. They've got I shouldn't say it's a police state, but it's close to it. And they have trouble controlling their population without lots of payments, and they don't have the money to do it. So that's the problem. That's why they don't want to reduce production. Do you think they will move to cut production? Yeah, I think so. I do believe that they are going to move. Let me just take a quick look here at your questions. Can I get your opinion on MTNB? MTNB. Let me look at that really quickly. Let me just look at that one on the chart. MTNB. Let's see if we've got something there. Okay. That's that's the Biopharma Holding. Interesting. This is a penny stock. It looks like it's crashed. It's trading at 53 cents. No, this has got a blow off top. Okay, this is a classic head and shoulders pattern. This is a classic head and shoulders pattern. This stock is collapsed. This would have been a short. Yeah, this has a classic head and shoulders pattern. What am I saying here? When a stock collapses, typically what will happen is that it will form this pattern, this what they call this head and shoulders pattern. And typically what will happen is it will trade up very nicely, and then it will peak out, and that's the left shoulder. That's typically at a higher level. If it will then go up beyond that, it will have a head. And then the lower one, and I can show it kind of like that. It kind of looks like this. The lower one will be like this. It'll be lower than the left one. At that point, when it moves to that position, truth be told, that stock is going to collapse, and that's indeed what happened here. And then there was what they call a dead cat bounce. It went basically down to 50 cents. And then it bounced up a little bit to 75 cents, and it's now down. It's going to go, and it's probably going to go under. Just my opinion, but this is based on how it typically works with the with that kind of chart pattern. I am Jen. How long have you been trading? I've been trading about 20 years, actually. I started selling strangles on the QQQs. That's how I started, and it served me well. I was taught by a guy who unfortunately is no longer with us. Really great guy, Howard Byron, and he showed me how to do it. And for over the years, I could always generate money doing that, and that's how I started. So, and I started with Charles Schwab, by the way. Very good company, huge company today. At the time, it wasn't that big. Back in those days, we didn't use computers. Here I am, so I'm showing you how old I am. We didn't use computers straight. We used touch-tone phones, and you would type in the symbol, and then you would type in the price that you wanted. Whether you wanted to, but it used the phone instead of a computer, and then you had to kind of constantly get information from the automated system on what it was trading at. So it was a little bit harder to do, but and it moves a little bit slower. Let's see. What are you doing? Let's see. I'm sorry. What are drug stocks look good to you? Okay, the best drug stock I believe right now, and is Bristol Myers Squibb. Its symbol is BMY. Okay, it's on the long-term leaders list. By the way, it's been trading up very nicely. It had a very much V. It was like a V, and it's moving up like this. I think it's a really good stock. If you look on periscope.tv/Dellett's Trading Floor, it's on my list, and I'm going to switch over to that. It's on the Investor Daily list of long-term leaders. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up to show it where it is. Okay, basically. It's on there at Bristol Myers Squibb. Well, I'm sorry. Well, it should be on here because it's definitely on the IBD 50. The other one I like is Thermo Fisher. Yeah, 96. So that's really good. Service now. Okay, so basically, the model portfolio right now is 30% in cash, 70% invested in the market. I'm not currently that. I'm 100% in cash, and it invested in various companies from this list: Adobe, Alibaba, which I don't agree with, Copart, Dollar General, Fiserv, MasterCard, Microsoft, Thermo Fisher Scientific. So TMO, you might want to look at that one if you're looking for a stock that has some legs. But BMY on the drug stocks, that's probably your best bet. How long have you been trading? Okay, Amgen. Thank you for the problem with Amgen. I like Amgen as a company, but I don't think it's in as strong a profitability position as Bristol Myers is. Bristol Myers is a better company. What is a good energy ETF? Well, there's a really interesting one that we've been talking about on this channel for a bit. It's called Gush, Gush. Let me see how it's doing right now. Yes, it is up today. Wow. Okay, cool. Nice. This is going to move. This will move very strongly if tomorrow they come to some kind of agreement. It's currently trading at 22. It's on low volume, though, on not a lot of conviction. But this one could move very much stronger, very much higher tomorrow if there's agreement between the Russians and the Saudis. So that's one you might want to look at. Okay. I have a small position. Excellent. Okay. I think this might be a time, if you want to put a little bit of risk on right now, again, as I say, I'm all in cash. I'm looking for market direction. When I get that, I'm probably going to put some risk on. Gush might be a good way to play it because it's got the right characteristics, at least as far as I can see for this environment, I think. But again, I wouldn't put everything in it. I would be super careful. Wait a minute, I'm low on battery, so let me go and get my charge here. Why does it say that low on battery? Okay, well, got a low power mode. All right, there we go. So I don't know why that did that to me like that. It should have gone bigger. But let me just plug this in. You can hear it going. I'm doing all my. There we go. All right. Okay. So there we go. All right. Now we're back on the TikTok. I was running out of juice on my iPhone and I had to plug it in. So that's what I was doing. Just so you'll know. So I wasn't. I know it's kind of strange. I'm sort of the one-man band here at Dallas Trading Floor. We're going from a remote location, and it's it's a kind of a thing where it's doing that. So it's kind of weird. Hopefully, I'm going to get back into the actual real building. That's what I'm hoping to have happen here. Hopefully next week after the Easter break, we're going to be back in the real building, and it'll be a lot smoother. It's getting better, but I'm still amateur when it comes to this. Does Warren Buffett trade or just, yeah, you know what? He's really just let me tell you something about Warren Buffett. I mean, everyone thinks he's the greatest investor in the world, and he's got a lot more money than I do. So, I guess he has a claim to that. But basically, he has an insurance company called Geico. It's a money spinner. He takes the money from that and he buys very, very long-term, companies, and he holds them essentially forever. But, he's not necessarily right. I don't know if you know this. There was big fanfare. He made a big purchase. He purchased something like 10% of Delta Airlines. Within a week, he was filing to get out of it. He sold all of his positions in Delta Airlines. Why? Because he knows that the market is going to punish the sector. And so he's not really a trader. He's what they call a value investor. He may have He may have a really good opportunity though once the market moves lower, because there's going to be some values out there. You can bet that. You can bet that. But that's sort of how he's. I'm more of a momentum trader. I'm a little different than he is. I don't have Geico, which would be nice if I did. Let's see. This is Warren Buffett. Okay. Thank you, man. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. By the way, I know that you're not on Periscope. Probably you're looking at us on TikTok, which I think is a much better platform, by the way. But there's certain things I can do on Periscope that I can't do on TikTok. If you could go over there and take a look at me on Periscope, that would be really great, because that way you can see some of the charts that I'm trying to put up here. I can't do it on TikTok, unfortunately. I just don't have the capability. I'm going to try to figure out how to do it so I can show you what I'm talking about, and not just not just me with the talking head. There's something more to it. So, but it's periscope.com/Dallas Trading Floor, and that's on Periscope. All right. Let's see. Tell me more. Unemployment would up with oil. Yeah, it's really, really weird. The price of oil is, it's insane. I went out yesterday, filled up my car, and we're talking about gasoline like $1.25. Come on, that's ridiculous. It's because nobody's driving. So I just don't see it. I don't see the rest of the economy coming back until they start to open things like restaurants. And I don't see that happen for at least a month or two, minimum. And a lot of people aren't going to have paychecks, no matter what they do with sending money to people and all that stuff. I still don't think it's going to be enough. I think there's going to be a real contraction in the economy. Like everyone's predicting this big contraction in the second quarter. I'm actually projecting a really big contraction in the third quarter because people will have gone through their savings by that time, and that's really when it's going to contract. So I am still a little bit bearish on where the market is at these levels. I think it's going to trade lower, but again, I haven't been perfect on that. So, I fully admit that. I fully admit that. Is Toll Brothers a buy? No. You don't want to be in any luxury goods at this point. By the way, here's why I know that Toll Brothers is not going to be very good going forward. It's not that Toll Brothers is great. I wish I lived in one of their homes. I certainly don't. The thing about Toll Brothers is they're a luxury home builder. Luxury home builders don't do well in these kind of environments. Even though the interest rates are extremely low, the demand is not for luxury homes. The demand is for starter homes, of which there are not enough. And the problem is, the problem is there's all these other luxury homes that people are going to have to sell, these baby boomers that are going to lose a lot of their savings as the market tanks. And they're going to have to sell their homes, and they're going to quote downsize, and they're all going to be doing it at the same time. Millennial buyers typically don't have, aren't far enough along where they can buy a lot of these houses. So you're going to see all these big monster houses sitting on the market. On my street alone, here in Dallas, there are four houses, rehabs, that have been sitting on the market. They're trying to get a big price on them. They're nice. They've been renovated, but nobody's buying them because, frankly, they're too big and they're too expensive. So Toll Brothers, no. The home building sector, no. In general, I don't like it, mainly because they don't have the right product for the market. Also, the real estate REITs are going to be in trouble because a lot of people aren't going to be able to make the rent, at least short term. So I don't necessarily think we're going to have a meltdown like we did in 2008. By the way, meltdowns in the real estate market can be very, very good. I came to Dallas in 2006, and in 2008, I was able to buy amazing real estate for basically 40 cents on the dollar. I don't know if that's going to happen again. I haven't bought anything in the real estate line for about 5 years. Well, more than that, 7 years, I guess, was the last one that I bought. I bought a house over in a place called Carrollton. Believe it or not, $3 off the George Bush for $87,000. I just thought I would tell you that because today it's worth about $300,000, but it's going down because whatever. Anyways, so there are some deals when the market crashes, and I think that we might be coming up on that. Do you have a daily watch list? You know what? I'm starting to put together a daily watch list, and I'm going to try to put it up on on Periscope. Also, I'm still working on my website, DallasTradingFloor.com, which I'm going to try to have the daily list up there, kind of what positions I'm trading currently and kind of my entry points and where my stop losses are. I'm going to try to design that so I can put that up there. What I would also like to do, just for everyone out there, if you could send me information to Dallas Trading Floor in the comment section, I would really, any active traders out there, I would really like to start interviewing people online for this show on Periscope, because I'd like to see everyone so that we can get possibly some good ideas going forward on how to treat the market. And I haven't put anything in writing or anything like that together on this show yet, but I want to get to the point where I can bring guests on, and all you really have to have is a computer, like a laptop, or or even you can just, with Periscope, you can even just have a cell phone, smartphone, either Android or iOS, and we can get some people on just to kind of discuss what their positions are, what's working for them, what's not working for them. I'm talking about people that are really trading in the market. I'm not talking about talking heads on CNBC. Not that I dislike the people on CNBC, but they tend to be very self-serving. I want people that are actually trading their own accounts, and possibly so we can discuss good ideas, because going forward we can make some serious money. And I certainly don't have all the answers, and I certainly would like to get together with people that do. Anyways, just a little plug there. Let's see. Okay. Use Discord to find. That's interesting. Okay, I don't know about Discord. Okay. Here's the thing about finding trades. I believe in some ways that less is more. This has just served me well in my trading career, in that if you get too much information from too many sources, you're going to be all over the place. I tried to trade like 5 or less positions at any one time, just because I want to be on top of each position, and I want to be able to I want to be able to really monitor them. So I try to trade a very few positions, try to trade the best positions, and move the winners up the chart and the losers down. That's what I try to do. And I totally recommend it if you are an active trader, because you will make more money that way than having a large, quote unquote, balanced portfolio, which you have some winners, but you have a lot of losers, and then you end up really with mush. So just an opinion. Let's see. First long-term, best long-term must have in your long-term portfolio. That's an interesting question. I think for long-term, I think some of the oils right now, because they're going to pay excellent dividends. Not that you'd look at dividends, but the quality oils. Something really quality like a Chevron right now. I thought I would never say this, because I'm normally not a oil guy, but I do think that at least in this market, you might want to look at the ExxonMobil. Or I wouldn't recommend AT&T, even though everybody else does, because I know too much about the company. Also, and here's an interesting play. Tesla's down today. I've made a lot of money in Tesla. If Tesla trades below 500, you ought to start looking at it, because I do think that it's going to move. Any good market, it's going to move higher. Now, this is interesting to me for the overall condition of the market, because a lot of the smart money is moving into Tesla, but it's very, very volatile. So I don't think the market has a lot of conviction, because Tesla is moving down today. I think the reason I say this is because currently the number one sector in the economy, believe it or not, is automotive. And the only leader in that right now is Tesla. It is trading at about 550. I don't think it's a buy here. I think it's a buy at about, I was saying 361. I haven't been able to buy it in 361 since December, and I've sold all those positions out. But I do think that below 500, but 450 might be the perfect balance for that. That might be a nice short-term trade, even in this market. So that's one of the few ones I consider going long on speculative. How many shares is a good typically buy at once? I suppose relatively. Yes, it sure is. Now, I personally trade a fairly large portfolio. Well, not huge portfolio, nothing, not like some of these fund managers. But I typically go in with 100 shares at a time. Now, on a Tesla, that can be kind of expensive because you're talking about a $50,000 commit. I don't recommend that. The reason I do that is because in a normal market, I will then sell options against them, usually call options. But if you have an expensive, it's better to buy fewer shares of an expensive stock than more shares of a bad stock. Really, I mean, this is really true. If you only have, let's say, $5,000 that you can commit, it's better to buy maybe 2 or 3 shares of Amazon than it is some of these other companies, just because there's sort of safety in big numbers. Usually, stocks that have a high valuation are there for a reason, and typically it's because they're an outperform. They're an outperform. So, that's my take on it. Here's the thing. The tradition, and I know this is a long answer, but the idea is what they call full positions. Okay. Typically, you should have 8 full positions. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you have $10,000, a full position would be 10,000 divided by 8, so about $1,200. So you don't want to commit any more than about $1,200 going into any particular stock. You really don't. Now, if the stock behaves properly, you might want to put 2 positions on, but you don't ever want to start with anything more than a full position. And sometimes in this market, you might even want to start with a half position. So if you have $10,000, you're going to divide that by 8, and that's going to give you about $1,250. That's the sizing that you want to go in. So if you go in with 1 full position, for instance, if you were to look at the long-term leaders list from the IBD, which I have up, I've been showing on the website, I'm on Periscope. It basically gives you the long-term leaders. Basically, the way that they have it is that they have full position. They show all the stocks that they're in full positions in, stocks like Microsoft and such, and 30% of their portfolio is in cash. So they have 70% invested. They basically have they basically have 70% in cash. Now, does that mean there's 7 full positions? Well, no, because it depends on the size of your amount. Now, typically below a portfolio that's below $50,000 in value, I think you're really looking at about 6 positions. Okay, so you want to take, let's say, $10,000 divided by 6. That's going to give you a number, of about 15. That's going to give you a number. And that's going to be 1 full position. So you don't want to go in, if you have $10,000, you want to go in with 1 full position. So if, for instance, let's say you're going into Microsoft, you want to position in Microsoft, you're only going to go into about 10 shares on a full position if your portfolio is about $10,000. So that kind of gives you a sort of an idea. I'm going to try to make a little video on this and post it on TikTok. The problem with that is I'm limited to 1 minute. So sometimes it's a little bit fast and kind of hard to follow. So I'll try to do that. Did you miss this opportunity to buy at a low? Yes, I did. I did miss the opportunity. Hey man, thank you. Man, I appreciate so much you watching. Again, as I say, I'm going to try to get a thing where, like, there's a forum or something like that for people, so that they can ask their trading questions, and maybe other people, myself included, can maybe just help a little bit. I don't know, because it's a hard thing. I mean, the problem when you're starting to invest is that everybody says they give you a hot stock tip, and you go out and you buy it, and of course it goes down, and you're like, screw this. I mean, I got to learn it myself. But there's not a whole lot around. I mean, everybody's telling you, oh, just invest in mutual funds and all that stuff. Well, that doesn't work either. You've got to learn essentially how to. I basically have a trading strategy depending on the market condition. I basically trade in 3 different ways. If it's in a down market, I am shorting. If it's in a market that's moving sideways, I am basically doing covered calls. And if it's in an upward trending market, I am using I am using options to trade it for the maximum benefit. Typically call options. Sometimes you typically call options. If the market is the way it is right now, where it's just all over the place, I am just playing it directionally, and that's basically I'm either going long or short depending on the market direction on the indexes. And the way I play that is I play that with the biggest ETFs, with the spider, the diamond, and that kind of thing right now, just because it's very hard to pick a direction right now because the market is so all over the place. Now, when we get more direction, I'm hoping by the end of this week, and we start to see sectors that are picking up, start to see sectors that are moving correctly, then I'll probably go into individual stocks more. Initially, I will go probably into the more quality names that you find on the IBD 50. Those are growth stocks typically, but they typically have the best characteristics. But currently, right now, I'm not in anything. I'm building my watch list. I think that there may be by the end of the week, I think the play maybe on the oil sector. I'm going to do some research this afternoon and see if I can come up with some ideas on the oil, how to play the oils towards the end of the week. And also, but I'm still, my dominant trading strategy at this point is a directional strategy based on either going long or going short on the indexes, as I've been saying before, just based on the way the market is moving. So that's kind of thing. Do you think that the market will go lower? Yes, I believe the market will go lower in the near term. And what do I base this on? Well, do I have a crystal ball? No, I don't have a crystal ball. But in market downturns like this, in the last really since the 1930s, we've had a situation where every time the market sells off like this, and it did in the early part of March, it sold off viciously. It went down over 30%. It will go down to a low, and then that low then will be retested before the market moves generally higher. Now, as of last week, there was a follow through on Thursday. This is a technical term, and basically I could go into it, but the easiest way to find out what this is to find the Investor Business Daily. They will tell you if it's a follow through day or not based on their criteria. They screen all the stocks, by the way. There was a follow through day, but it's a weak follow through day because there wasn't convincing volume. So the market was up yesterday, but then as towards the end of the day, it faded. I think that may happen today because the volume is not convincing. But what I think we're setting up for is that in the near future, something is going to happen. Either it's going to be a spike in the number of deaths by the coronavirus, or whatever. Something's going to set it off, and I think we're going to move down to retest the lows. The low currently in this downturn, as represented by the price of the spider, which is the largest ETF, is 218. Currently, the spider has been trading up today, so we're not there yet. So currently today, the spider is trading at 271. I think that there's a potential retracement, at least down to 225 in the near term, and we're looking about we're looking at almost $50 a share difference. We're looking at almost a 20% retracement from the current levels that we're at now. So I don't think it's a good time to be long. I don't think it's a good time to be long. I think we're going to move lower before we're going to move higher, and that's just that's the way I think it's going to happen. That's what I'm looking at in terms of the market. Okay, everyone, thank you very, very much. It's an hour. Yeah, it seems it's an hour and 10 minutes. Wow. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I'm going to be on tomorrow, same time, same bat station, as they used to say, and hopefully I will have some better news. My trading will be better tomorrow than it has been today so far. And thank you, everyone, for joining me on Dallas Trading Floor. Thanks, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. And for everybody on Periscope and YouTube, I am going to be, wait a minute, I have two comments. Oh, right. Oh, okay, the S&P is going down. Excellent. I've been using, okay, thank you, man. Sorry I didn't respond to you, Scott. Thanks for the comment on the direction. And are you watching me on Periscope or YouTube? Oh, you're on YouTube. Okay. Great. Oh, YouTube. Oh, you lunch. Thank you. All right. Well, great. GP Baxter, you were doing great. I'm making a little cash. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks. Tell everybody else about it, please. I just started broadcasting on YouTube and also on Periscope. For some reason, technically, I tend to be a little bit better on Periscope right now. I'm going to be getting a URL, hopefully my own URL for YouTube here pretty quick, so I'll have that. And thank you for the comment. This is a really tough market to trade in, by the way. I just want to be upfront about that. Really hard market to trade in. It's moving. It's moving not that great. Earlier this week I was making money. I made money on Tesla yesterday for a very short-term trade. Today, not so much. So hopefully by the end of the week, I'm going to try to come up with some information on trading the oils. I think that we may see a pop based on. I don't think oil can go all that much lower, though. There's not a lot of demand. There's been a lot of demand degradation there. A lot of oil companies are going to go under, but there's some potential deals, and I'm going to try to put that together. Again, thank you so much. I'm here every day. Oh, hey, Earl. Thanks, man. This is Earl. Excellent. Thanks, Earl. I'm here every day at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, broadcasting from beautiful. Hey, thanks, Fan. Appreciate it. From Dallas. And by the way, hopefully I'm going to have some better charts and stuff like that so you can follow along with the trades. I was going to put up my trade today. As a matter of fact, I'll show you what my trade was today. It was a loser. So, but I just because I want to be totally transparent here. This was my trade today. Short the SPY at 268.94. It closed at 274. It went up, and this is a short position, so I didn't make money on this one today. But there you go. So just to show you full disclosure. Full disclosure. First time listener. Looking forward to. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you so very much. I'm here basically every market day at 11 o'clock. I trade in the morning, and then I try to kind of show you what I'm doing. Usually I'm doing a lot more than I'm doing now. I'm just, this has been a hard market to trade because it's reversed so many times. But basically, thank you so much for taking a look at me on Periscope. I really like Periscope, by the way, as you can tell. I think it's a great platform, and I'm able to work it. So I don't have that many viewers yet, but hopefully in the future I will. And I would love to trade with you guys. Oh, bought 300 shares of Gush, rolling the dice. Excellent. Here's the thing. I am a person that believes very strongly that you can't get anywhere in life if you don't risk a little bit of money. Don't be a riverboat gambler, but man, you got to put your positions on. You got to put your trades on, man, or else you don't get the juice. Now, you want to protect yourself. So if you put a trade on Gush, please set your stop loss at 7% down, okay? Please do that, because even if you're stopped out and you lose money, you'll come to fight another day. If you're right, you could make a ton of money. By the way, if you're right, move your stop loss up, and then when it reverses, you're going to make some money. So great. Thanks for rolling the dice on Gush. I hope you're successful. I'm excited about that trade too. That's a good trade. Would you like to know if you've looked at MORL? Oh, it's a 2. No. Here's the thing. Please don't go into the REITs right now. They're really the problem with the REITs. Okay. And I just want to put this out there because I think this is really important that I put this out there. A lot of REITs are going to have a lot of trouble collecting money because a lot of their tenants are not going to pay them this month. So a leveraged REIT could be a disaster. MORL. Let me look at it really quickly. MORL. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. This is trading at 24. Yeah, this is well, maybe you could reverse on it. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. London Redemption, UBS, AG. No, please. This one may turn, but this is absolutely one of the worst charts that I've ever seen. No offense. This is just straight red and it's straight down, and it's not the chart that you want to see. Let me see if I can show you that chart. Let me just see if I can. Let me see if I can put that chart up here, just so you can see it. MORL. Is I getting that? No. Let's see what that chart. MORL. Okay. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can put the chart up here. You can see it. MORL. Why is it not giving me a quote? Okay, it should be giving me a quote here. Okay. Okay, there we go. MORL. Why doesn't it show? Okay, it should show me now. Let me just, for some reason it's not streaming properly on that. But I can tell you, looking at the chart on my other monitor, not a good one. Would you, okay, I lost a bunch. Oh shit. It went down in March. Yeah, you know what? I know this is a really hard market to trade. I wish you'd been watching me on TikTok. I also broadcast on TikTok. I'm not currently on TikTok. I've ended my TikTok broadcast. But I was basically trying to get everyone to move into cash at the end of February. And then I went short on the market. I did extremely well in March. But that is such a really weird call on that. Right now, if you're in the market, try to get into cash because there are going to be some opportunities. I think maybe in the oil sector towards the end of the end of the week. Don't necessarily take my word for it on this one because I haven't really done the research as much as I'd like to. But there's one called Gush, G-U-S-H, which might be a potential trade. But I'm not recommending it. Here I am caveating everything. Not recommending it right now. But let me put that up onto that. It's called G-U-S-H. There we go. I think I put it up there. That's the symbol for it. And then let me see if I can put it on the banner. And it's G-U-S-H. And see if I can put that up there as well. Oops. G-U-S-H. And it is currently, let's see. Okay. That's so you can see it up there. Thought I would make it work. Okay, there he is. Gush, G-U-S-H. And Gush is trading for, let's see. Okay, it's trading for It is trading currently at 22.19, and that's trading for 22.19. That's at 22.19, and that should give you an idea of it. There you go. 22.19 is the current price for Gush. That might be one you want to go and look at. Just an idea. Just an idea out there. So thanks again for everybody. And I'm going to be ending the broadcast today. And thanks so very much for everybody here. Appreciate your time. And we only have some more trade. Friday's close. Yep, absolutely. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Thanks again for taking a look at me on Periscope and on YouTube.